Okay, guys, I'm back on another rant about how I hate America. I hate America, and I think I'm actually considering moving.
Hello, welcome to the review, where I watch all the garbage so y'all don't have to. In today's video, we have another America hater who's considering moving. And again, I don't want you to move. First of all, it's not realistic. You can't afford it. If you can't afford America, you can't afford to just up and move yourself to another country. Second of all, nobody wants you. Unless you have some specialty trade or job, no other countries want you. They're not accepting Americans. Sorry to tell you. Unless you're very wealthy or you have a special skill set, nobody wants you. But again, I don't want you to leave. I want you to understand why you should appreciate the country you were born into. I want you to understand why this is the greatest country on earth.
Deeply considering going to explore the world in the next 2 years and finding a place that I like and moving there. Just because America is so blood money hungry. I get we have a lot of freedoms that a lot of other places do, but I don't know. Something in me.
I get we have a lot of freedoms that a lot of other countries do. Huh? You mean that a lot of other countries don't? Is that what you meant? No, we are the only country in the world with actual free speech. The only one. We are the freest nation on the planet and the most prosperous nation on the planet.
Like, I'm not into politics, I'm not into much, but I truly believe that America is the most corrupt country because we're just so blood money.
I'm not into politics. Well, that's your problem. That's the problem with most of the youth. They're not into politics. They have no interest in politics. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what causes the problems that we have. And then for her to have the nerve to say we're the most corrupt country on earth, are you nuts? There is corruption in our government, for sure, which is why our founders wanted a small, limited, unobtrusive government, because they knew big government breeds corruption. So, girl, you shouldn't just be complaining about all the things you don't like about America. Instead, you should be finding out why these things happen and how we can fix them.
Hungry. If you look at inflation, you look at all of these statistics coming out. I saw a statistic come out about how, don't remember, it was a high percentage of people do not want to have kids because they cannot afford it. People do not simply want to build or have families because they can't afford it. Because buying a 2-bedroom house can literally cost you $300,000. I kid you not, a 2-bedroom apartment was $1,600, pretty much starting at $1,600 to have an apartment that wasn't shitty, that didn't have cracks in their roof, did not smell like straight weed. When I went on an apartment tour, unless you're gonna be living in the ghetto, where you might walk outside and get popped on your doorstep, you're not gonna find something nice. So who would want to raise their children in that area?
Again, why is it hard to find a house? These are the important questions you should be asking, girl. The reason houses are expensive is because there's a low supply of housing. When you bring 20 million people in over a 3-year span, that increases the price of housing. When you have high inflation because of government printing money, that increases the prices of housing and everything else. When fuel prices are high, that increases the price of everything, because everything is brought to us by by fuel, one way or another, by oil. We are the most prosperous nation on earth. We have the highest living standards of any country in the world. You may be able to go live somewhere cheaper, but you're not going to have 2,000 square feet. You're not going to have a vehicle for every person in your household. You're not going to have all the choices that you have in the food store that you have in the United States. I did a search on this. The food stores in the UK, for example, have 40,000 products on the shelves. The giant stores have up to 50,000 different products. the Walmart grocery stores in the United States have 120,000 different products on the shelves. You're not going to have the selection anywhere else. You're not going to have the square footage anywhere else. You're not going to be able to buy the car of your choice anywhere else. You think other countries have 70 different model cars to choose from? They don't. That's a United States thing. Again, she's unaware. She's unappreciative. Our poor, again, I said this in the last video, our poor are in the richest 15% in the world. That's right. Our poor, people below the poverty line, are in the richest 15% in the world. They all have flat screens. They all have cars. They have food. And if they don't have food, the government will give it to them. So while you sit there and complain, I think you really ought to be a little more appreciative. And corruption compared to other countries, we're one of the West in general is less corrupt than other countries. How do we fix it? I think we already took the first step back in November. What else you got to say, girl?
Left to make people just be struggling, living on top of each other, or having to choose their food over their rent, or their rent over their food. And I don't understand it. So many other countries get free healthcare. They get free college. What do we do other than give?
Nobody gets free anything. The healthcare and the college educations are paid for by the taxpayers. The doctors aren't going to go to work and just give out surgeries. No, somebody has to pay them, and that is everybody. Nothing is free. Nothing is perfect. You might have been told everything's great everywhere else, but it's not. Your problem is you want everything you want right now. When I was in my 20s, I'm 48 now. When I was in my 20s, I lost my job. I lost a well-paying job. So you know what I had to do? I had to get 2 jobs to cover the bills. Imagine that. Is that crazy? Working 2 jobs to cover the bills? But that's what I had to do, and I did it. You don't have to go get your own house. You can get a roommate. You could stay with your parents longer. But like I said, this youth wants what they want, and they want it right now. And if they don't get what they want right now, it's America's fault. It's the United States' fault. No, girl, it's not. You can have everything you want in this country. You just have to work for it.
The government, all of our fucking taxes. For people who are broke bums, I'm not saying everybody who uses government assistance is broke bums, but there is a lot of people who choose not to get a job or choose not to work, choose not to try in life and live off the government, or have tons of kids they can't take care of to live off of the government and get their money and just be living off Section 8 and food stamps the rest of their life because they're comfortable with that.
I agree 100%, but you're not involved in politics. You're not interested in politics. So you don't know how to fix those things. You have no interest. You're too busy watching TikTok to get into politics and vote and figure out why things are the way they are and how we fix them.
And then the people who are literally busting their asses off having to pay those taxes just so that can go to them. And I'm a person who uses government assistance. I have Medicaid, I have WIC, and I'm going to apply for food stamps because while I can, I'm going to.
So now we know why she doesn't appreciate anything, because everything's being given to her. The government's given her everything she needs, so of course she doesn't appreciate it. She doesn't have to work for anything. It's ridiculous. The youth in this country is ridiculous. They have no idea how good they have it. Sometimes I think we need a good depression to really get everybody's head screwed on straight and have them appreciate just how good we have it here. That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. Cheers.